Alex was not saying anything up until about 2 years ago. And now it's like Alex is having a word explosion. Welcome back to our channel, and thank you once again for joining us in this another day in the life of living on Autistic Edge. I am Terry Ann Alain, proud autism mom, and we are here to share with you tips and tricks of how we navigate through our journey right here on Autistic Edge. Today we want to talk about some technique in how to get your child to start talking. Now, we have done a number of bits and pieces, but we get this question ever so often. How do I help my child pronounce this letter and that letter and some specific letters? Now, I want to share with you today some of the technique that I've used and how I've used it. Now, there is no one size fits all approach when it comes to speech therapy. Remember this. Each child is different, and this is why we call it an autism spectrum. It's a spectrum for a reason, because every child is different. Every child has unique capabilities. They have unique ways of learning. Now, what works for my child may not necessarily work for your child. We have done a lot of trial and errors. There are a number of things that did not work for us, and there are a number of things that did work for us. So we want to share with you the techniques that work for us, okay? There are three main stages in getting a child to say words. Now, initially we practice sounds or imitation. So they may be able to imitate your actions. You tell them to do something. You may instruct them to do it. You may do hand over hand. And that is the very early stage. And the toddlers would normally be doing the imitation technique. Now, as the child grows older, of course, it will be a little bit more difficult, but with consistency, it will work. Now, you practice the imitation, then you want to practice the sounds, and that would be the letter sound. Now, here in this video, you would have seen where we have Alex pronouncing the letter sounds. Now, this was the beginning for us when he started showing signs that he's ready to do some amount of words talking. These were one of the first stages for us. So we did this little exercise in having him pronouncing the letters of the alphabet, and what we do there is the letter sounds. We focus on the letter sounds. So you may want to look at this video. When we move on to the sounds, then we started putting words together. We started combining the letter sounds. So when you combine the letter sounds, the ka, the a, the t, and then you get like the cat. So we started doing words. And then as we go along, now Alex is a little older and he still doesn't have much words at his stage. So what we're doing with him now is work on functional speech therapy. And when I say functional speech therapy, it means helping him to ask for what he wants, right? Being able to ask for the things that he needs. So he's now able to ask for bathroom. He's now able to tell you that he wants chips. And the newest word of the week is vegetable. Yeah, that's a big one that he gets that pronunciation perfect. Now, I told him that I'm going to put vegetable in his lunch. And when I told him I'm going to put vegetable in his lunch, you know that he's not going to let go of that. So each time I ask him, what am I going to put in your lunch? And he will tell you, vegetable. Action words are great words to use for speech therapy exercise. The child will catch on to the words quickly when there is an action to it. So we are currently working on the word come. We work on the articulation of the C and the articulation of the letter M. Now, those two letters are the more pronounced in the word come. So we work on the C as in the K sound and the M as in the M sound. Now, the E is silent. All right. So he will not know the difference at this stage with the E and being silent the rules of the English language, he may not be able to know at this stage. But that's fine. We are still using the word. So what we'll do, we'll teach him the word come, but we also help him to use the word come so that he understand when we tell him to come. So when we call him, we say, Alex, come, and he will come. Now, what Daddy and I also do is on a Sunday morning when we are at home, and even during the week, but mostly on a Sunday morning, when Daddy finishes breakfast, or if I'm the one that does breakfast, I will say, Alex, go and call Daddy. Tell Daddy to come. And Daddy will do likewise. So Daddy will say, Alex, go tell Mommy to come. And Alex would just come in the bed and he would come and hug me. Now, when he come, I know what Daddy tell him to do. So I will say, what did Daddy tell you to do? And he will say, come, come, please. So he's catching on to it. Usually, when Daddy tell him to go call Mommy, he would just come and kiss Mommy, and then he would run off. But now, when he comes, I try to give him a little push start. And when I give him the push start of the k, then he will come out with the word come. So he will tell you to come. And more recently, he's adding please. So he will tell you to come please, come please. So in helping the child to say words or to use the words, use functional words that they can use and they will understand it more when they use. So, for example, whenever he uses the restroom, we normally say, Alex, when you finish the restroom, you need to say, help, please. Or if you need something in the kitchen or somewhere, you need to say, help, please. So what we would normally do, if he needs something, we'll go, what do you say? And he will tell you, help, please. Now, in getting that help, we have to practice the word help. So we work on the H and we work on the LP sound coming together. Help, help, help. And we have to do that multiple times. Now, when you are practicing the different syllables in the words, or if you are using just the letters, when you are practicing, one rule of thumb, repeat for a minimum of about 5 times. Have them do that repetition each day for a minimum of about 5 times. So if you are practicing the letter C, for example, since we are working on come, you can say k, k. And remember, always have your face in the right place. Make sure you are in front of the child, whether you are sitting, whether you are standing, or whatever you do. Sit in front of the child. Allow your child to see the formation of your oral muscles, how you would shape your mouth for the pronunciation of the letter sound or the word, right? So work along with them and do it every day, if it's even for 5 minutes. Remember, we would have shared with you before that speech therapy can be done anywhere. So use the word in the car. Find reason to work on your words. Have your word of the week and give your child every single opportunity to use those words. So if you have to tell him, Alex, come. Alex, come. Go tell Daddy to come. All when you don't want Daddy, send him go call Daddy. And Daddy just come with him. Those are just simple ways that you can get him to work on his articulation and to work on his words. Also, for example, I saw where someone asked in the chat how to help a child to pronounce the letter K and C. And I think K and C would, the formation for K and C would be at the same place, right? So another way you could use the K sound or the C sound for a pronunciation is get a ball, because they will associate kick with a ball. So when you get a ball and play some ball in the living room, you can use the lighter balls. Play some ball in the living room, and if you have yard space, you can go outside with them and kick a ball. And when you're kicking the ball, tell them what you're doing with the ball. You're going to kick the ball. What you're going to do with the ball? Kick. And let them pronounce that kick. And, we went swimming. We had a swimming instructor. Auntie Paula was very good with Alex Xavier. One of the things that Auntie Paula normally do with Alex Xavier when he was teaching him to put his face in the water. And she would say, put your face in the water and kick, kick, kick. Now Alex catch on to that rhythm. And guess what? After a while, whenever he see Auntie Paula turn up for swimming class, he would go, Auntie Paula would go, face in the water and he will go kick, kick, kick. So he gets quite a bit of pronunciation from the letter K, even though we were doing swimming. So we get some practice on that. And then from time to time, I would say, Alex, when you put in the face in the water, what do you do? And he will go kick, kick, kick. So he knows that he's going to put his face in the water and he's going to kick, kick, kick. Now, use functional words. So, for example, in this video, practicing with letter L. Now, if you notice what we did on that day, we took it to the backyard. We went outside. We find some things along the way with letter L. I had some L around the garden and Alex would search for the letter L. Then, you know we're not going to catch the lizard, right? And me not go hold the lizard. No, me not go hold the lizard. You can laugh after me. Me not hold the lizard, all right? But what I did, we cut out some pictures of some lizard and we taped them in the tree, right? And then as we go throughout the yard, we find lizard and then we find a L in the tree in the form of a lizard. And Alex just get to talk about lizard for the entire day. You can go back and watch this video. So parents, there is no one size fit all. For me, I am not using a prescriptive approach when it comes to my child. We do everything outside of the box. Yes, there are some prescriptive approach that works and you will follow, but guess what? Alex was not saying anything up until about 2 years ago. And now it's like Alex is having a word explosion when it comes to some words. So therefore, just try anything. Keep talking to your child. Even if the child doesn't seem as if they're hearing you, keep talking to them. Me talk to Alex sometimes until him get upset with me. That's all right. When him get annoyed, we find another word to put in there. Like, you annoyed? Annoyed. You want to hear him repeat annoyed after me? I say, I saw annoyed, look, annoyed. Okay, yeah. So talk to them. Talk to them. Parents, one of the biggest mistakes we make with our children is because they are nonverbal, we feel like they don't understand and they cannot say anything. And as a result of that, we ignore them and we ourselves don't talk to them. Well, guess what? And my biggest company, because we ever they have a conversation. You understand? No. So don't be afraid to pull up your tricks. Use utensils, anything you find around the house. Just use it and practice. So there is no prescriptive approach. So when somebody asks me, how do you help my child to say this word? Guess what? I cannot answer that question because I don't know if my approach will work for your child. So you will have to use the material as a guide and come up with your activities or add on to it, take away from it, or guess what? You can even use it as is. You never can tell. Well, there are a number of parents, and hats off to you guys. There are a number of parents that have reached out to me and say, yes, this activity worked for my child and this activity worked for my child. For some parents, you're going to have to take a longer time. You have to be consistent. Don't give up. Don't give up. That's the thing I'm going to tell you, parents. Don't give up. We are extraordinary parents. Remember that. And we have extraordinary children. We can't give up because you might just be giving up right about the time when you're about to have your breakthrough. Once again, I say thank you so much for joining us in this another day in the life of living on Autistic Edge. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and make sure you subscribe so the next time we put out another content, you will be notified.